Hey everybody, Ben's Brick Designs. Doing another whiteboard drawing today. Don't get used to it being every day because I'm on vacation. I might be doing these on the weekends from now on if I can get off my butt and do them on the weekends. But today's drawing is Bo Diddley. Again, this is backwards because Facebook Live or Instagram Live doesn't show things flipped. So there you go. What's up, Julian? How's it going? If I don't see your comments because I'm not looking at the camera too much, I'm trying to look at the drawing I have, or the photo that I'm working off of, and then the drawing. So, good morning, everybody. So this is going to be an interesting drawing because I want to get his head in here, but also his guitar. And I found a pretty interesting picture, but I'm concerned it's going to be too much for me to handle. But we'll give it a shot and see what we can do. As long as the construction gets done right, I think it'll be fine. So Bo Diddley, I don't know much about him other than he is a blues rock guitarist and very influential to the rock and blues community. So his guitar is also, he's got it up to his ear. He had this weird square guitar in a lot of his pictures. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to get in, but we'll get as much as we can. What's up, Kodiak? What's up, Joel? How are you doing, dude? So Joel, once I'm done doing this, my next project for today is your house. I need to get those instructions done. I've been sitting on those for far too long, and you've been very patient. And I need to get that done for you. It's just a matter of like plunking everything into the steps. It just takes a while, and it's kind of boring. So I was going over, there's another great artist doing whiteboard drawings as well. Look him up on Instagram. His name's Perry's Whiteboard, or Perry's Whiteboard Art. And he also does daily drawings, and it's usually of musicians. He's more musically focused, I think. And he's got a book out, if you're interested. I think he may have some for sale still. So check him out. Camera job this morning. All right, well, keep up the good work. Don't get too distracted. Hopefully this won't be too long of a drawing, but the last couple have taken a little longer than I'd wanted. I'm also drawing at a weird angle so I can have it on the screen. Yeah, so if you check out his, he does some really good stuff too. Perry's Art Whiteboard. And yeah. And then if you're watching and you're a regular viewer of the YouTube Twitch stream, I'm going to do my tomorrow stream during the day because it's New Year's Eve and we might have people coming over on that night. But just kind of, just two people sitting in the backyard with us. So I'm going to try to do that during the day, and I think I got the Empire State Building, so I think I'll just work on that. Jim Croce, January 10th, sure, if that comes up. So I feel a little like I'm not culturally appropriating anything, but maybe this is just me trying to be an ally, but I've tried to focus this last year, since at least June, on famous or important African American or Black historical figures. And I don't know if that's going to continue or if I'm going to focus on something else in 2021. So we'll see. There were times when I didn't, but the person I focused on was a, important scientific, researcher, or somebody had a good discovery, or they were important in civil rights. So we'll just have to see. Plus, you do a birthday a year, it kind of gets burned out after a while. The year before, I did on this day, like weird national holidays and stuff, but that you can only do that for so many so often during the year. All right, he's got these wicked horn-rimmed glasses. And you can't see his eyes because of the reflection, so it doesn't even matter what I do with the eyes, really. So I mentioned Perry's whiteboard art because he also did Bo Diddley today. In fact, he got to it before I did. He usually gets his drawings done by about 6 in the morning. I'm just waking up. And I'm like, well, that would have been one that I picked too. So I went ahead and told him, I was like, hey, I think I'm doing that one too. He's like, yeah, get on it. And again, if you're interested in some of his artwork, it's really good. You should check it out and buy a book. It's too far. So I hope everyone's having a good last Wednesday of 2020. Can all say that we're all very glad that this year's almost over. I don't think 2021 is going to be that much better, but we'll see. And yeah, there's a lot of dark shapes in here, but it's an interesting cat. I was looking him up, get some historical perspective, because I've heard the name and I've seen this picture, and I think I've heard some music, but not a ton. But he's one of those guys that I'm sure you've heard a lot of his music over the years because it's inspirational for other artists. He was an interesting cat. This is all in shadow, so it's hard to tell where his hairline is. It's all in shadow. Kevin Hinkle, you should go ahead one day with your drawings. Oh, yeah. I was on his first multiplayer stream back at the beginning of last year, And I will go ahead and say that he is a better cartoonist than I am. I'm going to go ahead and say he's also a better artist than I am. He is more prolific, and he works harder, and he's actually got a lot of training. When I first met him, he was just the manager at our local Lego store. And then I found out that he'd also been the manager for, a couple other Lego stores. And then he became the community manager or community outreach or community whatever at Lego. I was like, hey, good for him. And so I kind of kept following his, where he was kind of thing, because you friend people on Facebook or whatever. And I started seeing that he did a lot of Lego person drawings, and he had a little comic strip. And like stuck in the middle of bricks in the middle, and I was like, oh man, and he's a good artist. That sucks, because it's like, yeah, he's a nice guy, works for Lego, and he's a great artist. So it's like, screw that guy. Not really. He's a good dude. I think head to head would be fun, but I mean, we kind of did that on that stream, and I will say I don't think I came out ahead. But to each his own. It's hard to do really solid, smooth lines without needing to go back and erase. That's what we got so far. I think it'd be fun. I think if we did another stream like that, it'd be a lot of fun. Just because, I think we're both affable gentlemen. I think some of the spirit of competition would be there, for sure. But all in good fun. All right, I think I'm going to get a new marker for this big one, because this other one I think is wearing out. These markers, these are just regular dry erase markers from Staples. They smell like garbage. So, I'm doing well, Julian. How are you? Everyone can still see that okay? Yeah, I think so. You were talking about Mr. doing a challenge with Kevin Hinkle. And then something about Jim Croce. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. I don't know the name that well. You can see how solid this one is. The other one was drying out a little bit, so it wasn't giving me very good coverage. Boy, do these smell terrible. And you can see some of the dark hair in black and white pictures is always a problem, because it has highlights, but it's also black. So you want to make sure that the highlights are seen, but never able to really give it too much in the way of just solid black hair. Some photos are better than others. And I'll burn out of these markers. These markers will last, a few weeks. It's because there's so much coverage to go on here. This is where I think digital versus analog, the digital wins, because you could just kind of lasso this whole shape and go, yep, black. Let that dry for a little bit before I color it in. I'm also stuck at my computer today for a little bit because apparently there's something broken at work. And despite the fact that our company is closed, we're all hands-on, kind of making sure everything's okay. And it's kind of a problem because there's one of our companies that isn't closed and the other entities that we deal with aren't closed as well. So I don't know how we're going to get away with this, but so I'm here just in case too. It's actually the shadows are a little closer in than that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your grandma. That sucks. What's up, Perry? Now that I'm finished with the Coliseum, would I recommend it? That is a good question. So I enjoyed having the time off this week to be able to build it. It is, first of all, there's a couple of things I would recommend about it, and that is for $500, it is a really good price to part ratio, like insanely good. 9,000 pieces, yes, it's, you know, small little tan pieces, but there's still a lot of them. And I would recommend getting it just for that, but also it's, you know, it's still kind of fun to do. It's not repetitive to the point where you get bored, because you have to you have to build it in these sections, and each section is a little different because they're ruins. So even though you're kind of building the same thing over and over again, it's slightly different each time. So it does keep you on your toes a little bit. And the end result is very, very cool. It's actually bigger than I thought it'd be. And yeah, it's just, you know, real fun. I enjoyed it. I would almost suggest, if you have a lug, getting 2 of them and drafting it, because for the parts that you're getting, it's really good deal for the parts. You know, if you could come up with the $500 and split it with somebody, maybe, and then you each get 4,500 parts or something like that. So I think it's totally worth it. All right, well, that actually came together pretty nicely. What's up? It is repetitive because, I mean, you have to do, it comes in, you know, however many sections, and each section it's like, if you imagine the whole thing is a flower and each section is a petal, you're basically building each petal, right? And you build them in these chunks, and then you put the chunks on the platform. And then the chunks are attached at the top, but the whole thing basically anchors on 4 spots, and then it's got ball joints that clip together for each section. It's something that you could get away with doing while watching, you know, catching up on some shows. It's probably 15-20 hours of building. So real quick, I'm going to look up Blues font. And just pick something that looks kind of cool. Yeah, that looks good. Let's see if I can get this So I'll try to do some font that's appropriate to the person. So I do a little bit of blues font here. This looks like a regular script. Sometimes I spend entirely too much time on this part of it. But not today. So there you go. All right, so there's Bo Diddley. Here's your drawing for the day. Thanks everybody for coming by, and I'll probably see you. Are you forging his handwriting? Yeah, got the guitar in there. So, yeah, I'll see everybody later. Thanks for coming by. See ya.